Good day and welcome back to MN Toolbox. This is Brian, and today we're going to be working on a 997.1 Porsche with a PSM error. So let's get in and see if we can solve this problem. So here's what we're dealing with. Whenever the car is on, we get a pop-up saying PSM error. Now the PSM error could actually be a lot of things. It could be wheel speed sensors, it could be YAW sensors, it could be a number of different things. So in order to figure out what the PSM error is, we're going to throw on the ODB2 reader and see if we can get an error code. All right, with our ODB2 reader hooked up, sorry for the glare, we're going to roll into diagnostics and then down to Porsche. Pick our version, sorry about the glare. This is a 997.1, so we'll choose the 997. If I can get this better. Just a smart scan, key is on, do our communication, communicating with the car. Once it's done with its smart scan, we know it's a PSM failure, so Porsche Stability Management, pop into here, read the fault code, and it is a rate of turn sensor faulty. It's a 4420. So we're going to go and check out the 4420 and find out what the problem is. After a little bit of research online with the error code, the rate of turn sensor / YAW sensor is a sensor that's inside of the car. It reads information from the wheel speed sensors and ties into your airbag system. And so it's supposed to alert the car in the case of an emergency that there is going to be a crash and deploy, or you have hit something and deploy the airbags. So we definitely want to get this taken care of. So inside of the car, the rate of turn / YAW sensor is located in front of your shifting console. This is a manual. There is this little side kick to the right of the gas pedal. This little side kick panel, it is a T30, and there is a little T30 right here that we're going to take out. And there are some, I don't want to say the word tabs, but there are just some little fingers that kind of sit in here. So when we take this out, this just comes this direction and slides out. You don't have to pop it like with any type of a, like a pop or anything. It just has some little fingers behind there that hold it in place. So I'm going to get this unscrewed and I'll be back in just a second. With that unscrewed, now this just comes out, and there are these two little, they're just grabbers behind. So when you put the panel back in, just make sure this is, tucked in behind and grabs on, or else it'll be flopping around and look silly. All right, so grabbing our flashlight now and coming in behind this panel, let me get my flashlight in here. This is our little speed sensor right here, / YAW sensor. It's this little guy right here. It's got one wire connection coming into it, and shockingly, two 10mm bolts, one on each side. So the bolt, which is right here, and the one on the other side just need to come off. And then there's enough play in the wiring harness where we're able to pull that off. On this particular car, I can probably get it both bolts on either side easily, but otherwise, if you can't, just take the panel off, the identical panel on the other side, and just come in from the other side, the passenger side, and get that passenger side 10mm bolt off of this little sensor right here. Be back with you in a moment. All right, I thought I could pop over the top and be able to just wiggle that socket onto the passenger side bolt for the speed sensor, but I could not, alas. So we're over on the passenger side of the car. I'm gonna take off the trim piece for the subwoofer in the passenger side wheel well. And this one on this side is a T25. So we're in here, we're gonna take off the T25, and then we'll disconnect the 12 volt, the wire going to the 12 volt adapter here in just a second. So I'm gonna take the screw out and I'll be right back again. Also on, which I just popped out and I should have filmed it, but there is also another bolt right here on the top of the subwoofer that you have to take off, 10mm. And so once that bolt and the screw is undone, you can grab onto the subwoofer on the front and it slides backwards. Let me zoom out. It slides backwards like this, and then you grab onto the bottom and it pulls out away from it. And then I'm going to try to see if I can set it aside. Otherwise, just take off the connector right here on the back to get the subwoofer out. So again, it's a pinch and a pull on the connection cable right here. All right, now we have the subwoofer out. There's our little sub and our little amplifier. I'm gonna set that aside. So back underneath here now, I'm gonna take the sub wire and I just kind of tucked it up on top of this little, to get it out of the way, up on top of this little little holder for the bolt out of the way. Get this wire out of the way for the 12 volts. And you can see right in here, get my light in there for you. There's our second bolt right there that we need to remove, whoops, to take this speed sensor out. So 10mm socket on this guy, or a little opener box end wrench, and we can take that bolt off, and then we can take that sensor off. So easy access once you pull the speaker out of the way. It's sitting right there. All right, I ended up just using a 10mm box end. It was just easier to get on this little thing. So once you just loosened it, just pop it off with your fingers. And then we'll pull this out from the driver's side. It's probably just easier. Driver's side, here's the sensor. It's a side squeeze on the wiring harness. And out it comes. All right, let's take a look at this thing. All right, so a little bit of research on this particular sensor, and it looks like it was used in the Boxsters, the Caymans, the 996s, the 997.1s. No surprise there. This is our part number, this 996-606-14500. There is a superseded part number of the end being a 01 instead of a 00. Porsche wants like $1,800 for it off of their dealership websites, so which I think is a bit much. You can get used ones for, I'm seeing them for like $1,300 and $1,200 off of some of the kind of the standard places that you go to buy your aftermarket Porsche parts. Since this one is, I'm going to just try it. I actually ordered one. A friend of mine shipped it out to me before I go and spend the money on it, out of a Boxster, and it is right here, and it is the exact same part number. So I'm going to go ahead and just put this one in. That will tell me if the PSM error goes away, that this is the correct part. If it goes ahead and works, I'll just use this one. If it doesn't, then I'll go back and see what else I can do. But I've also seen these out on, eBay for $60, $70, $80 out of wrecked cars. So I don't see any reason that wouldn't work just fine also. I just would make sure that the numbers match up specifically. And this one is the right part number, and it has the 080 in the lower right, as does the one that I just pulled out. So this should be identical match. Some of them are made in Hungary, some are made in Germany. I don't think it makes a toot's worth of difference as long as the part number is correct. So let's get in the car and install this and then see what we can do with it. All right, so here is the replacement / borrowed sensor. I've gone ahead and clicked in the wiring. I'm going to set it in here. I'm not going to bother to bolt it in at this moment because I just want to see if I can get the error to go away, and does this actually resolve my issue. So over to the ODB2 reader, we'll clear the codes, start the car, and see if it's happy. All right, got the ODB2 sensor hooked up. So back in we go. Down to Porsche, over, enter, version, back into 997. We can do a manual. I'll just hit the smart scan again. Key is on, but I can just go to the manual and say PSM. We already know what we're working on. Sorry for the glare. Okay. Oh, darn it. PSM, enter. Read fault, should still be there. Okay, back, clear. F2, okay. 1 second. Okay. Fault data clearing is done. So now we'll just back up, back all the way out, and we'll check the key and see if we get our fault on our console. All right, so start the car, and error is gone. That's what we like to see. So we now have a replacement part in. At this point, I will keep this part, and I will just order a new one for my friend that lent me the one out of the Boxster. I don't think you need to go and buy the super expensive one from Porsche. Again, I'm repeating myself, but I see these, you know, if you want a brand new one, you know, again, Porsche is like 1,800. If you want one out of, you know, that's new out of one of the other resellers, 1,300. eBay, $60, $70, $80. You know, for that price, geez, I'd buy 3 of these things. They do apparently, after doing a little research, they do go bad. So it is not unusual that they will just go out. So in wrap, thank you for going through this with me. I try to only cut videos on things that I cannot find myself on YouTube or other DIY sites. So this one I was not able to find a video anywhere. So it's always helpful just to kind of know, what does the part look like? You know, where is it in the car? And what are the steps that I need to go through to get it replaced? I hope that this was helpful. And if it saves somebody else a trip to the expensive garage, then my mission is accomplished. Again, this is Brian, and have a great day.